What's up, everybody? This is Doubling Down with Colin Sheehan, where we do a pick three. Last week, we went 2 out of 3 at Belmont Park, and we got beat basically by a nose. It was a little bit shocky, but we were right there. We are now 1 for 2 in trying pick threes on this show. Let's try it again. We're going to go to Belmont Park, race 2, 3, and 4 for Saturday, July 1st. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me here on Trust the Profits YouTube page. This is Doubling Down. My name is Colin Sheehan, and this is going to be a quick look at the early pick three at Belmont Park. When I say early, reminder, it starts in race 2. At least this, what we're looking at does. We're going to look at race 2, 3, and 4. Let's dive right into it to try and make this quick for you as you prepare for your handicapping. I think race 2, a field of 7. Number 7 is a main track only. This is going 7 furlongs on the turf. And I really only ended up on 2 horses in this race and decided in ticket structure that I had to pick one of them. That was going to be the 5 and the 2. I picked the 2, but let's run through real quick. Number 1, Pond Walker. This horse is coming off a really long layoff, trying winners for the first time. Although that first race, went wire to wire, and in this race here, early speed could have a little bit of an advantage. The speed figure assigned was a little light, so I decided to pass. Number 3, Vienna Code, hasn't really raced well on the turf. That's why I tossed that horse. The 4, Explosive Exchange, feels a little bit too slow to me. Number 6, Candle, is interesting. You're going 7 furlongs here. This horse is definitely bred for distance. Oddly enough, the victory this Candle has is at 6 furlongs at Aqueduct. He's a bit of a wild card to me, so I figured I'd try to go back to this race that was run on June 3rd at Belmont Park. We have the race replay here for you because you have 2 horses here, Gal in a Rush and Diamond Hands. Gal in a Rush is 10 on the outside. Right there, I have the arrow between the 2 of them because they were right alongside each other. The number 4 is Diamond Hands, and you can see them closing really well here. And I'm hoping that with a little bit longer distance and a little bit of a smaller field as well. These 2 horses have been running against some really big fields. They get that relief here, only going up against 6 horses, especially obviously considering number 7 is going to scratch because it's a main track only. I think Diamond Hands, the reason I chose Diamond Hands is I think this horse has really been more forwardly placed prior to that last race. Irad was holding this horse back in the backstretch, probably because of traffic, but that was a pretty good late rush. If Diamond Hands is ahead of Gal in a Rush in the stretch, I don't know that Gal in a Rush is going to be able to get past Diamond Hands because I think the late speed on them is very similar. I can't blame you, though, if you do decide to go with Gal in a Rush. For me, I'm going to go with the number 2, Diamond Hands. That is in leg 1 of this pick 3. So we move on to leg 2. This is race 3, Saturday, July 1st. The 2 has some great works. I think the speed fits. The 7 is a Linda Rice first off the claim from Steve Asmussen. That is something that you obviously need to pay very close attention to. Especially recently. I decided to move away from those 2 horses. I'm going to go with the 3, the 4, and the 6. This race is being run at a mile, and it's an allowance race for 95,000 non-winners of 1 other than. And so the 3, 4, 6 is where I'm going to focus. I think the 2 has certainly shown the speed figures are there. Some great works up at Saratoga for the Engelhart barn with Kendrick Carmouche aboard. Why did I go with the 3? I think the 3 has shown really good late speed while also being able to maintain a more forwardly placed tactical position. You get Javier Castellano for Linda Rice. This will be the 3rd race at Belmont this year. Has 2 seconds. The speed figures fit for me. Certainly one I don't want to leave off my ticket. The number 4, Reserve Currency, when we did our pick 3 last week at Belmont, this was a horse that was entered into a turf race at the same level, was a main track only. The race stayed on the turf. There was a question because there was a lot of rain going into that weekend if it might come off. So now Reserve Currency for the Chad Brown barn comes back here. at the exact same level. I like that the speed figures have continually increased. I liked the last performance out at the allowance $82,000 level at Aqueduct. That was in the slop. The last 2 races have actually been in the slop. Horse has shown the ability to remain up close and also close a little bit past tired horses late, especially in the November 3rd race at Churchill Downs going back to last year. The other horse I left on my ticket was the 6 Victory Way. This horse has only raced 2 times. Broke's maiden first time out. That was at Aqueduct in the mud. Then came back and tried the Bayshore Grade 3 race, losing by only 1 1/4 lengths. That was an impressive race, I thought. It also showed that they have confidence in this horse. This horse trained by Belmont. So I'm going to take a shot with Victory Way. So in this race, I decided to go with the 3, the 4, and the 6. On to race 4. This is leg 3 of our pick 3 that we're looking at for Belmont Park for Saturday, July 1st. And you have a field of 8 with another main track only entry, that in the 8. The horse that I was immediately interested in was this number 2, Chilean, as I guess how we'll pronounce it, at least here on this show. And what I want to show for you here's the past performances for this number 2. The green lines signify a layoff, okay? So the first race above the layoff has consistently been going by a speed figure in 83, and 84, and an 81. Look at that next race out, though, after. So second off of a layoff, you see a nice increase by about 10 speed figure points. This is Bursnet. And also you notice on the right side a little bit of a pattern. So first off the layoff, a couple 4th place finishes, followed up by a couple victories. Well, last race for this horse was the optional claimer there, which was a 4th place finish and put up an 86. So I'm hoping that this pattern sticks with this number 2. And I think that if the horse can take another step forward here in this race, will certainly be in the money. That horse is being trained by Grand Motion. I also included the 3 Space Launch on my ticket. Space Launch, I'm going back to last year, actually ran this exact same race. It was July 1st at Belmont. It was an optional claimer for $62,000, going 1.25 miles. This horse went almost wire to wire, ended up getting caught at the end, but put up a really nice 100 Brisnet speed figure. That day it was second off the layoff. Today this horse is second off the layoff. You get Jose Ortiz aboard for the Christophe Clement barn. I'm going to keep Space Launch, number 3, on my ticket. And lastly, I decided to keep Dripping Gold on my ticket. This is the Shug McGahee barn with Jose Lescano aboard. This race is going 1.25 miles on the turf. So what I like to pay attention to is horses that have had success at that long distance. And maybe not success, but I like to pay attention to the comments. Dripping Gold last out went 1.125 miles, and you'll notice in the comment ran on. A race before that at 1.125 miles prevailed. A couple races back, you'll see the horse closed well at a longer distance. I'm a sucker for these odd distances, both 7.5 furlongs, and then the really long distances, to try and find horses that have shown success, or at least a glimmer of hope at the long distance. And in this race, that was why I ended up with the 6 Dripping Gold. So we'll bring up that ticket for you so you can write it down so that you'll be prepared. That's the wrong graphic. That is our Assiniboia Downs pick 4, which is guaranteed $50,000. Don't forget to tune in on Monday nights where we have our live stream. You can interact in the chat, and we try to put together a pick 4 ticket. We missed last week, but we are going to get right back at it. But there you go. That is this week's Belmont Park pick 3 for Saturday, July 1st. $9. I'm going to single the 2 in the first leg, go 3, 4, 6 in the second leg, and then try to finish it out with the 2, 3, 6. The calendar turns to July. That means we are only 2 weeks away from Saratoga. So I'm going to stick to Belmont on this show and really get ramped up for the Saratoga meet. To me, it's my favorite. It's the closest to me. It's the one that I've gone to for the last 20 years, at least once. I'll be up there for Whitney weekend. I hope if any of you are going to be out there, you can message me on Twitter at CSheehan45. and hopefully we can meet up, have a drink, and enjoy the races together, because that's what this community is all about. We thank you. We ask you to like, we ask you to subscribe, and most importantly, we ask you to put your picks for the pick 3 on Saturday in the chat. Don't forget to check out Horse Guy Mike. He did the late pick 5 at Belmont. So between us, we've got you covered. And I hope everyone has a nice and safe holiday, and we'll see you up at the spa. And until next time, my name is Colin Sheehan. This is Doubling Down.